Good afternoon. My name is Teresia Huffman, and I was appointed by the Birmingham City Council in 2020 for my first term. I'm currently serve as chair of the Birmingham Waterworks Board. Thank you all for being here today. We are here to discuss our steps our board has taken to assess and restructure our organization to better serve our customers and the Birmingham area. We look forward to working with each of you in the coming months to share our progress. Earlier this year, our board initiated discussions about how to effectively assess our organization and operations. Prior BWW boards have struggled to build the trust needed with the public while modernizing our operations to better serve our customers. To clarify the need for a new and more effective approach to the system's operations, the boards determined that it was important to bring in a highly respected and experienced leader who could independently assess our organization from top to bottom, get input from various stakeholders, and then help us transform this critical public utility to meet the needs of our region in the 21st century. We are pleased to work with General Ron Burgess to lead this effort as well as guide the process in hiring a new long-term general manager. In his career, General Burgess rose to the level of a 3-star general in the U.S. Army. In his final post, he led the Defense Intelligence Agency, where he was over more than 17,000 employees deployed in more than 100 nations around the world. He then became the Chief Operating Officer at Auburn University, where he led all operations that included more than 5,000 employees and 25,000 students. His strong commitment to public service is undeniable. Our charge to General Burgess was simple: come back to us with recommendations on how to transform our organization to the best it can be and manage a national search to identify the strongest, most experienced person in America to be our general manager. General Burgess has no limitations from this board and has the complete latitude to make independent recommendations, whether it be operations, customer service, infrastructure, communications, board governance, and operations. I am pleased to introduce General Ron Burgess.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank the chairwoman and the board for their confidence in asking and selecting me to do this important task. I can say right up front that this board and the folks in the senior leadership positions at this waterworks have been nothing but supportive in terms of my efforts so far, as I look forward to working together with all of them to look at how we transform what is a critically important organization to not only the city of Birmingham, but to Jefferson County and the surrounding counties that make up central Alabama. And so I was asked, as she said, to do 2 basic functions. First, I was asked to lead and direct the search for a new general manager. The charge that I was given was as she laid out. I was asked to find the best person in America to be the next leader of this organization. It's my understanding that for the first time we will conduct a national search for the new general manager of the Birmingham Waterworks. And so I have put forward, after doing extensive research and interviews, I have put forward the firm Baker Tilly, which will come before the board on Wednesday. I am seeking their approval to proceed with the selection of Baker Tilly to conduct a national search for the next general manager for the waterworks. The focus of our process will be to get it right, not necessarily to do it fast. As we move into the 21st century and we look at the economic engine that is becoming Birmingham, Jefferson County, and the surrounding areas, the waterworks is critical to the economic development in moving that forward. So we want to get it right for the individual that we select. And so while we will certainly consider current employees, the search will be far and wide, and it will be national. In addition, I was asked to take a look at the organizational construct for the waterworks. And so the waterworks itself and the board have given me unfettered access across the entirety of the waterworks to include the outlying operational areas and to include the headquarters here. And I can say that everyone so far has received me with open arms and has been very open. I have also reached out to the leadership, the elected leadership here in Birmingham, in the surrounding areas, those people that are the appointing authorities for the Waterworks Board, and I have solicited their input. I have solicited the input of our elected legislators in Montgomery. Every one of the individuals that I have interacted with have been vocal, not only in how important the Waterworks Board is to this area and to the economic development moving forward, but how important it is to take care of doing their primary mission. Their primary mission is to provide water, make sure that it's quality, and that they serve their customer base. Every one of them have made sure I understood what my focus ought to be as I look across the entirety of this organization. So it's critical that this assessment be done in the right way and come to the right conclusions and recommendations back to the board. The board has invested money already in looking at some of the critical infrastructure, looking at some of the processes, and looking at the organization. I will take full advantage of those inputs as I do my own recommendations back to the Waterworks Board as we look ahead. And second, it's best for the long-term, if you will, viability of this organization for what it means to this local area. Because at the end of the day, it's important to where we are going to move. The board's made it clear to me that I have no limits in terms of what I'm able to look at and the recommendations that I am going to be able to make. And so I'm doing a full review, starting at the board level, moving down to the lowest level employee across the board to include all of the infrastructure here at the Waterworks. There are no preconceived ideas for me. I did not walk in the door with any hidden agendas. I did not get any advice on where I ought to go. I have not been told that I will take my findings in any particular direction. They have asked for my unvarnished truth and recommendations as I look forward, moving forward. And so my hope is that we get moving on the general manager search. That search should begin immediately once the board makes a selection on Wednesday. And then as I am coming to the conclusion of my initial review and assessment, I will then start looking to make recommendations on the organizational structure and the processes. Because at the end of the day, what is most important for the Waterworks is that they have a customer focus and they remain focused on the people that they serve. Ma'am?
Thank you. All right.
Do we have any questions?
Yes, dealing with the timeline, I know you mentioned dealing with hiring a new GM. What's the timeline? Is it a certain time you're looking for, or are you still hoping to make a hire very soon?
Yeah, and so the way the process ought to work, once a firm is recognized and identified, in this case Baker Tilly, they will go into what they call their 30-day assessment. Every one of the national search firms that I interviewed and discussed all basically talked about the same process. A 30-day review, making sure that they understand the requirements, the right attributes of the individual that we are looking for to lead us further into the 21st century. Once they do that 30-day review, reaching out to stakeholders, understanding what they need to know about the position, then they will open it up and start bringing in candidates. They believe that that window will be approximately 30 days for them to have that. And then they will then make recommendations to me. I will then engage in the process, coming up in all likelihood with a list of final candidates of 3 to 5 to make a presentation to the board, and then utilize the board to help make the selection for the final selection of the general manager. So in all likelihood, we're probably talking about a 90-day scenario, realizing that we've got December and that may or may not add a week or two because you've got Christmas time. But I've made a promise to the current interim general manager. I will make sure we move with some alacrity on this process.
General, you said current employees may also be.
Absolutely, current employees are candidates for this position. While we're going to do a nationwide search, the best candidate might actually be right here in the waterworks or right here in Birmingham, Alabama. So we are not preordained or predestined to go in any particular direction. My goal is to make the recommendation of the most qualified, best candidate for this particular organization.
Are you waiting on the hire to do the automatic meter reading, or are you gonna move forward as fast as possible? Is this dealing with just automatic meter reading in general? Are you gonna try to make that hire, or are you gonna move forward as fast as possible on that process?
As it relates to automatic meter reading, the board did make steps last year by approving a contract with eSource to come in to look at in our system and evaluate what steps we need to take as far as how quickly we need to move into automatic meter reading. They are actually up to come up to the board this month to make their recommendation. So the board has already taken steps to move in the direction of automatic meter reading. As we start having budget discussions, you'll see where we are allocating funding as far as how aggressive we want to move into AMI, automatic meter reading implementation. But the board does have a priority to move into that direction to better serve our customers.
Madam Chair, can you tell us a little bit about the benefits of the automatic meters? As people complain about, an accurate or estimated bills.
Okay.
How's this playing that customer service?
Well, with the benefits of automatic meter reading, there are benefits. So one is customers being able to look at their meters, the digital format from home, and being able to have quicker access to those those readings, their monthly bills from home. And also making it where as we move into the 21st century, everything is turning more digital. And so we want to make sure that we move the utility in the direction that the world is turning into. And so in efforts for us to move into the 21st century, we believe that this is a priority.
How is the new customer service strike team doing so far? Just Ashton General, all your former Birmingham Waterworks leaders who came back temporary, are they making a change, making a difference in your eyes? Just kind of just give me how you feel.
So I want to look at it from the direction of our customers. We recently brought in Mac Underwood to serve as Deputy General Manager. We brought in Daryl Jones to serve as Interim General Manager. We brought in Barry Williams to serve as Interim Assistant General Manager of Finance and Administration. We brought in Michael Parker to serve as our Senior Customer Care Manager. What I can tell you is that these people are customer focused. They are invested into the utility. They have a heart for this utility. And that the top priority is making sure that our customers get the service that they deserve. I want to give you an example of that customer service level. A couple of weeks ago, I received a report that our Michael Parker, our Senior Customer Care Manager, saw a lobby full of customers. He went into the office and said, every employee who has an iPad, follow me. And I want you to grab your iPad and approach a customer. That level of customer service is what our customers should see every day working into the waterworks. And so what I can tell you is we have made it priority for our customers to receive the best level of customer service as well as quality water.
I would add to that, since I have the ability to be here on a fairly regular basis, I would like to echo. I have seen from the very top, from the authority itself, from the board, working down through the senior leadership down to the lowest level. She just mentioned some individuals that have come back. I have seen a commitment throughout this organization to taking care of the customer. And when a problem is identified, as I say, the can's not kicked down the road. They immediately jump on it. They come to a solution, and then they say, what do I need to do to make sure this doesn't happen again so that the process is improved? But I have seen total commitment throughout the entire organization to being customer focused.
General, what challenges have you seen so far? I know you're talking about how smooth it appears to be, but there's always something in that road as you're trying to get to where you want to go. What are the challenges you face?
And so some of the challenges that you would face is first of all, just gathering the data that you want. I mean, I come from a world when I ask a question, I want to know, I would like the input and the data right then. Sometimes the data, takes a little bit of time. I'm not talking about extended time, but it takes a little while to gather what it is the question I'm specifically asking about. The other thing that I would say is, in pockets inside an organization, people are not sure that they need to be quite as responsive as they need to be. And so, in my old life, I used to talk to my own employees about what I called the manana spirit. And I don't mean anything by that except, it's not about tomorrow. When someone comes to you with a question, answer the question. If you don't know, it's just like in a press briefing or if I'm doing a hearing on the Hill. The correct response is, ma'am, sir, I don't know, but I'll find out and get back to you immediately. That is the correct response. And so what I see is sometimes, we might not have put enough effort into what I call workforce development across the breadth and depth of the organization. We're asking people that are going out and they're giving you 100%, but they might not have all of the technical skills that they need, and they might not have all of the customer interface skills that they need. And so that's a continuous process. But every organization I've ever belonged to, and my recommendation here is every organization, just like the Birmingham Waterworks, needs to be adaptive, agile, and a learning organization daily.
My last question is, I saw all these great changes that's happened. Has the complaints, you've been receiving in the last 2 months, has it been, any changes in that? And when it comes to incorrect billing, has it been more positive things you've been getting back, feedback from the customers compared to the last 2 months?
What I can tell you is, since we have brought in this new team of leadership, as well as our current leadership, they have prioritized our customers. And that is finding a way to aggressively address the concerns of each customer's bill. I can tell you I've seen a decrease in the complaints and concerns. I know that they're still there, but our interim general manager, Daryl Jones, has made it a priority to make sure that when we do have customer billing that is incorrect, that we work on it today. And so what I want our customers to know is, no, the problems have not gone away, but our approach is still, they are our priority, and addressing their concerns today is the priority. Okay.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Do we got anything?
All right, thank you all.
Thank you all for your time.